Hey, what's up? Welcome in. I'm Kellen from Movement Parallels Life, and this is a 15-minute mobility flow warm-up. So this style of movement, something that I've just come to call free movement, is the foundation of what I do in my own fitness and my own movement practice. It's the way we start out every one of our classes at our gym, and it's the basis for my free mover mobility project. It's a video series where I'm basically showing you how to approach movement in a way that's a little bit more explorative and experimental, but teaches you about your body and helps you develop the tools to take care of your body so you can keep doing what you love, keep moving in the ways that you love for a lifetime. So what you're seeing me start with here is just kind of checking in with my body and being a weirdo, and I highly encourage that. When we get into the actual flow in just a few moments, you'll see that it has 4 components, and we're going to go through for 2 rounds. So you can just consider this a general movement-based warm-up or a short movement snack or movement session that kind of breaks up your day and gets a little bit more movement goodness in your life. If you follow along with this and you end up feeling as good as I know you will, then please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and check out the links below for more information on how you can build your practice of free movement. All right, everything is feeling good. All systems go. We're ready to get into round 1 of the warm-up. We're going to start off lying on our back, supine position, and going into a bridge march. First thing on my agenda is setting up a strong position. I want to really make sure that my feet are rooted to the ground, that I'm driving my hips up to the ceiling, and creating some tension and some stabilizing strength in my core and my hips. Keep the hips elevated in the bridge, and then we'll add in some reaching patterns. Every reach is a perfect combination of stretch and strength, and you're going to vary the movements as much as possible, reaching off at different angles. Different reaches create different sensations of stretch and change the dynamics of the position, and these are all good things. Next, we'll transition into a side bent sit position and begin working a transition from hip to hip. We want to do better than just kind of flail from side to side, but turn this transition into a full sequence. You can see the back leg sweeps forward, the legs switch that figure 4 position, and then the straight leg draws back. Once you've got a good rhythm for the basic sequence, then you can start adding in variations, changes to the tempo or the positions. Next up, we're transitioning into a foot-hand crawl position, and we're going to work some marching, particularly a contralateral 2-point support. Easing into things with some gentle marching of the hands, getting used to picking up a hand, taking it off support, and then reestablishing that support. Next are shoulder pulses. Going to do about 20 of these, and this just wakes up the whole shoulder girdle as you start to get a sense of how the shoulder blades glide. They draw together in retraction and spread apart in protraction. Now the contralateral balance. I'll pick up a foot and then come to the fingertips of my opposite hand, and then eventually remove those fingertips. Hold that position while keeping the knees hovering just off the ground. Once you find the balance and the stability there, then you can start playing around with movement of the free limbs. One more variation I'll add in is a rotation on that contralateral support. Next, we'll transition into break falls. We're just going to do one round of the break falls, but this is getting you used to the action of falling. Patterning that response is a very practical skill. We'll start very softly, very easily by keeping a low center of gravity and rocking back. Contact the ground with the hips and keep the spine round as a smooth rocking surface. And then we start to introduce a slap of the ground. As there's more velocity behind our fall, the slap of the ground helps disperse some of the impact. It can take some practice to get the timing of the slap down. You just want to make sure that you're not trying to catch yourself with the arm, or you don't extend the arm too far away from the body. If you're on a very hard surface or you've got downstairs neighbors, you might want to skip the slap today, and that's fine. The end of round one brings us right into round two. This is the integration round. This is your chance to continue polishing the movements and explore any additional variations. I'll come right back into my strong supine hip bridge position and start in on some marching. Second round, I'm going to opt for some bridge push-ups. Transitioning into these side bend sit hip switches. I'll increase some of the strength and mobility demands simply by adding a forward reach. Transitioning into the foot hand crawl position, working that 2-point stability, this time with a little bit more movement integrated. Shifting my body weight around and starting to step forward and backward. And we'll make a change for the second round. Instead of falling back, we'll rock up. That brings us to the end of round 2, and for the last few minutes, we're just going to clean up any loose ends. And for me, it felt like my wrists and shoulders could use a little bit more attention. So I'm going to go right into some basic wrist prep. These palm lifts are a go-to movement for me. I'll pair the palm lifts with some flexion stretching, placing the backs of my hands against the floor and closing my hands into fists to intensify the stretch. Simple shoulder movement next, the internal-external rotation twist. And then finally finishing off the warm-up with some basic shoulder opening and articulation. And there we go, guys, a 15-minute mobility flow practice that's great for a pre-training warm-up or anytime you just need a little movement snack. Thank you very much for taking a few minutes out of your day to move with me. I really do appreciate it. Until next time, best wishes for good movement and good living. Later, y'all.